Afghan officials say the Taliban have captured their first provincial capital since 2016. Zaranj in Nimruz province. In another development, the militant group assassinated a close associate of the president in the capital, Kabul. Greece is bracing for a new wave of wildfires as strong winds whip up the flames, which are thought to have been brought under control. An extreme fire warning has been issued as the flames engulf the outskirts of Athens. China's reacted angrily to President Biden's announcement that Hong Kong residents currently in the US will be granted temporary safe haven. It described the decision as a gross interference in China's internal affairs. And it's the last few days at the Tokyo Olympics. Among the events, Italy won the men's 4x100 metres relay in a very close finish with Britain.
In the Philippines, Manila begins a new coronavirus restriction period with thousands of people rushing to get vaccinated after false reports of punishments for the unvaccinated. U.S. President Joe Biden permits Hong Kong citizens in the U.S. to live and work in the country for 18 months in response to the crackdown under the new security law. In Lebanon, the army seizes rocket launchers used to attack Israel. Israel has answered with strikes in Lebanon on Hezbollah militant targets. And in Japan, Olympic chief Thomas Bach praises the Tokyo 2020 Games, although coronavirus and cost concerns remain.
Our next guest has an interesting incentive for people to get vaccinated. Her school district is actually offering $1,000 to any employee who is fully vaccinated by the end of September. Joining me with more is Dr. Mary Elizabeth Davis, Superintendent of Henry County Schools in Georgia. Mary Elizabeth, thanks for being with me.
Well, thank you so much for having us and for the opportunity to really talk about the significant step towards vaccination in order to really move past this season in which COVID is really plaguing our communities.
Well, it's interesting, your word choice. You're using the word incentive and not a mandate. Tell me why.
Sure, that's right. Really, we are not requiring participation in the vaccine, but we have been on a mission as soon as vaccines were available to ensure that educators were first to have access. And now how do we continue making that choice into the most essential and effective mitigation strategy? Because we know the critical infrastructure that schools play and the critical role that our educators play in the lives of young people. So taking care of their health and really promoting those next steps towards a healthy workforce is really where we believe the investment needs to be.
So let me ask you, Mary Elizabeth, you know, we've seen vaccination rates surge in states and cities that have enacted vaccine mandates. So why not make it mandatory? I mean, it would help keep our kids safer.
Yeah, this is really an opportunity for us to talk about how a combination of so many mitigation strategies, coupled now with the availability of a vaccine, is really the direction we need to incentivize people to move. We were open for 75% of the year last year, and we deployed all of the mitigation strategies that we know work. But this year, there's a vaccine readily available, and we've been on a mission since that was available to be a closed point of distribution. We actually provided the vaccine to each of our employees, as well as private educators and daycare providers. And now we are taking that next step to suggest it is not only vital that we make it available, but we want to move in that direction and provide that one-time pay supplement as an investment in you and your health.
And has it been a wake-up call for you, especially the surge in numbers of kids that have been hospitalized due to this Delta variant? Is that opening the eyes of everybody within your district to see the impact of vaccinations and now the impact of how it can determine whether our kids can stay healthy or not?
That's right. The best move towards the health of young people is for adults to be and stay healthy. And really, this has been a season in which I believe the data that distinguishes the severity of COVID implications of unvaccinated and vaccinated individuals is the compelling data that's beginning to tell the story of truth. It is the opportunity for us to walk people toward that choice of vaccination because we can see the distinction it has made in an effective approach to the fight against COVID.
So schools just started in Georgia. Congratulations. How are things going so far?
Listen, the energy around learning together and being in community and schools is incredibly high. We are certainly aware of the need to do that responsibly and be opened in a way that mitigates COVID to the extent that our school spaces allow, and then also really provides that continuity of services by ensuring a healthy workforce. And really that's where our effort has been.
Well, we should point out that your schools in Henry County were one of the only school districts to host its own vaccine distribution site. So how do you think that impacted your decision here?
Yeah, I just think it's consistency, right? We have really believed from the moment we closed schools on March 13th of 2020 that as a public institution, we are to be accessible by the youth of our public. And if we're going to be accessible by the youth of our public, we're going to do every single thing that it takes to make an in-person learning experience a reality while continuing to offer families choice in a virtual alternative. And that's exactly what we've done. And we've stayed consistent to deploying the next best mitigation effort that was available to us. And we've continued to operate in complete coordination with other agencies in our county so that our community is served in a very comprehensive way. And I just believe that that consistency and that very laser focus on young people and the importance of educators in the lives of young people and the importance of the craft of teaching and learning in the lives of young people is really just our job to then remove any barriers that keeps it, that really keeps it continuous and stable.
Well, we hope you follow up with us. I want to know how many employees took you up on that $1,000 and got vaccinated by September. Dr. Mary Elizabeth Davis, superintendent there, Henry Schools, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We start with the latest action on the track at the Olympics, and shock package Italy has just landed a stunning gold in the men's 4x100-meter relay for the first time ever. Britain took the silver with Canada in third. Hot favorite Jamaica missed out on a medal. Staying on the track, five-time Olympian Allison Felix from the U.S. made history in the women's 400 meters. Her bronze makes her the first female athlete to take home 10 Olympic medals in athletics, 6 of them gold. Shona Miller-Weibo of the Bahamas won the gold. Mary Lady Paulino from the Dominican Republic took silver. Japan's athletes came good again on Friday as Kyuna Ryo won the men's karate kata competition with victory over Damian Quintero from Spain. The 31-year-old from the southern prefecture of Okinawa, the birthplace of karate, is known for his strength and sharpness. Kata is a solo version of the sport with points awarded for skills including accuracy, speed, and balance. Kyuna previously won the World Championship 3 times in a row from 2014. He has studied traditional Okinawan dance in an effort to take advantage of its beauty and flexibility in his quest for the perfect kata performance. Kyuna is Okinawa's first ever Olympic champion. Now, women's wrestling, where Japan's Mukaida Mayu has won gold in the women's 53-kilo division. Mukaida won the World Championships in 2016 and 2018 to join 3-time Olympic 55-kilo champion Yoshida Saori as one of Japan's most popular wrestlers. And Japan's women's basketball players are set to play for gold on Sunday, despite the team ranking a lowly 10th in the world. Friday night saw them beat world number 5 France 87-71 in the semifinal. It means a guaranteed first Olympic medal in the sport for Japan. Next up, the sport's dominant force and 6-time defending champion, the United States. The men's 50-kilometer race walk took place Friday in Sapporo City in Japan's far north. Organizers planned a 5:30 a.m. start in an effort to avoid the worst heat of the day, but with little success. 10 athletes pulled out of the race due to the heat, including some of the medal favorites. Poland's Dawid Tomala cruised to victory in just over 3 hours 50 minutes with a dominant performance over the second half. Germany's Jonathan Hilbert took the silver medal with Evan Dunphy in third for Canada. And Saturday's women's marathon has been brought forward an hour to 6 a.m. in a bid to make it more comfortable for the runners. However, the men's marathon on Sunday will start as scheduled at 7 a.m. Laura Kenny, one half of British cycling's golden couple, added another title on Friday at the Tokyo Games. She's the first woman from the country to win gold at 3 Olympics. Kenny's 5th gold came in the Madison event alongside Katie Archibald. The pair destroyed the field, leaving the rest to fight for silver. The 29-year-old said that since giving birth to a son 4 years ago, balancing motherhood with elite sport has been far from easy. Her husband Jason has already claimed silver at these games in the men's team sprint and goes again in the Keirin on Saturday. Between them, the couple, who married after Rio 2016, has 11 Olympic golds so far. As the games begin to draw to a close, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach is praising the anti-infection measures in place over the last weeks. Bach held a news conference on Friday ahead of the closing ceremony on Sunday.
If you compare, they're always with the past, but the games used to be different. Yes, they used to be different, but under the conditions of a pandemic, I think these Olympic Games will one day be considered as by history.
He said making the Olympics safe and secure was the top priority. Bach added the IOC had to accept the decision by Japanese authorities to hold them mostly without spectators.
But fortunately, what we have seen here is totally different, because the athletes gave these Olympic Games a great Olympic soul.
He also mentioned the Belarusian sprinter who sought asylum in Europe and is now in Poland. Kristina Tsimanouskaya says she feared for her safety after posting comments on social media that were viewed as critical of the government.
Our responsibility and our remedies is to protect the athletes as much and as far as we can.
Bach called the case deplorable and said that the disciplinary commission would continue. Weather officials are warning high winds and heavy rain are threatening to hit eastern Japan this weekend. Tokyo Games organizers say they're keeping a close eye on the situation. Tokyo and surrounding areas are in the projected path of Tropical Storm Mirine. Officials say they're ready for a range of contingencies and that they'll provide updates when available. The total number of coronavirus infections in Japan has now surpassed 1 million since the start of the pandemic. It comes amid an outbreak fueled by the spread of the highly transmissible Delta variant. Japan is fighting its 5th wave of coronavirus infections, which started in late June. Infections are recently spreading faster than ever, mainly due to the Delta variant. The total number of infections has nearly doubled to exceed 1 million in only 4 months. The first confirmed COVID case was in January 2020, when a man in his 30s tested positive after traveling to Wuhan, China, and infections have continued to surge on and off since. On Friday, Tokyo confirmed 4,515 new cases, the second highest daily figure in the capital. Officials say 141 people are seriously ill. Experts are voicing their concerns. Some say a nationwide state of emergency should be declared, and if cases continue to climb, the government may have to consider stronger measures such as lockdowns. Tokyo and 5 other prefectures are currently under a state of emergency. 5 additional prefectures are taking intensive antivirus measures in limited areas and periods. As the spread of the virus continues, the government has expanded the quasi-emergency measures to 8 other prefectures from August 8th to the 31st. Turning to Malaysia, which has seen a rapid spread of the coronavirus due to the Delta variant, the country's daily cases surpassed 20,000 on Friday, marking the 3rd straight day of a record number of infections.